Hi everyone, I am Neha Agrawal. I am the founder of WiseUp Communications. Since this video is about jobs abroad, let me share a little bit of my background with you. The very first job of my career was in Singapore. I worked as an engineer at ExxonMobil Chemical. It's an energy company headquartered in the US. In this video today, we're going to talk about the different avenues through which you can find a job abroad. So without further delay, let's get started. The first way to work abroad is to complete your education in that country. Guys, let me be very transparent with you right in the beginning of this video. It is difficult to find a job abroad because of the competition and the preference given to locals over foreigners. So if you do want to work in a foreign country, it's important to study there first. This shows that at least you have the same level and the same quality of education as anybody in that country, and therefore you deserve to work there. So you can either complete your undergrad, master's or PhD from that country. Now a lot of people ask me, can I do a short-term certification course in that country and will I get a job there after that? Well, the answer is that it is difficult. Doing a short-term 6-month certification course is not the same as going through a degree program, and it doesn't have the same reputation. So if you do wish to study in that country, might as well go for the reputed degree programs there. And in fact, in my experience till now, 80 to 90% of the people who are working in the foreign country have actually completed their education there first. So this is the most common avenue for you. Another way how people work abroad is by working in multinational companies and then taking an overseas transfer. There are different ways how you can make this possible. Sometimes your job requires you to go to overseas locations, to either your company's own branch or to client locations where you have sales meetings, client meetings. So what happens is that when you meet so many different people, you end up networking with them. And if they like your work, then they might actually offer you a position. Another way how people take a transfer is when they have two sets of team in their company. One is the offshore team, which is working in India, and the other one is the onshore team, which is working abroad. So if you are a part of the offshore team here in India and you're constantly interacting with the onshore team, then there are chances that if they like your work, they might invite you to work with them. Otherwise, you can also indicate your interest to work overseas right in the beginning in your company, and after 3 to 4 years of experience, if the company really likes your work, they might also send you. So this is something that I've seen happen a lot in consulting companies. So working with multinational companies in India and then taking an overseas transfer is your option number 2 to work abroad. The third option is to look for jobs on your own. Now it's going to be challenging applying for jobs abroad while sitting in your home country and not having any contacts or references. But if your profile is good enough, then you do stand a chance. So here I'd like to share some suggestions with you. First would be to redo your resume. Sometimes the kind of resume templates that we use in India might not work abroad. So it's important to make a resume which works for overseas countries. So this is where I can help you. At WiseUp, we run a resume building course where we share a resume template with you that really works well overseas. We teach you how to organize information professionally in your resume, and finally we also share feedback to make your resume ready for submission. To know more, the link is in the description. Once your resume is ready, you can apply for jobs online. Now what most people do is that they send out their resumes on common job search websites like monster.com, indeed.com. Well, my suggestion here would be that you do this, but along with that, you also apply on each individual company website. What happens is that when you're applying on these job search websites, a lot of people are using these portals. So your discoverability is slightly lesser. On the other hand, if you go to each individual company website, look at the position that they have open and apply specifically to those positions on their company portals, then your discoverability increases, because not a lot of people go through this pain of opening each and every company website and then applying. I don't know about others, but at least this is how I got my interview call for ExxonMobil in Singapore, ultimately where I worked. Now, if you have 5 to 10 years of work experience, then you can also approach recruitment companies and they can help you find a job. This doesn't work for fresh grad positions, but if you have a decent amount of experience, then recruitment companies really help you. Because a lot of companies approach them to find candidates for senior leadership positions. And at these levels, they actually don't mind flying candidates from overseas countries if they have good profile. So this is something that could be useful to you. And finally, the last way, I admit not the best way, but the last way how you can find a job abroad is to have your spouse working in the foreign country. If you have your husband or wife who's already working abroad, then it becomes easier for your visa to be sponsored. Let me take the example of Singapore. So if you have your husband or wife who's already working in Singapore and they are in a certain salary bracket, then you will be issued a dependent pass. Now what the company sees is that you already have a visa and they don't have to sponsor a separate work visa for you. So it becomes easier for you to find a job. But despite that, you still need to work hard to be able to get it. So some of the things that you should do is firstly update your LinkedIn profile. Make sure you change the location and mention the country in which you are already staying. This shows the recruiters, this shows the companies that you're already in the right location and they don't have to fly you from your home country to give you a job. Do the same thing with your resume as well. Update the current location to the foreign country in which you are staying in. And then based on your skill set, you network with people around you, you build the right connections, send out your resumes to different companies, and after some time, you will be able to find a job there. So guys, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Hope this video gave you some clarity about the job scenario abroad and how to get them. But to be very honest with you, working abroad is a hassle. If I take the example of US, even when you're working there, you always have that fear whether my H-1B visa will be approved or not. If I take the example of Singapore, the moment you leave your current company, your work visa expires. So if you do wish to switch companies, you need to have one job offer in hand before you leave your previous company. And even if I keep all of these things aside, no matter which country you're working in, you will always feel like an outsider. But one of the reasons why we do want to work in a foreign country is because of the international exposure, because of the money. So if that's the reason, then I think the above option should definitely help you. Thank you so much for watching this video and I wish you have a fantastic career ahead.